We're live now. There it is. Okay, hide it.
That's a cool intro.
You like that?
That
Again, I've
gets
been
fire.
playing with all this stuff. I don't know. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Curmudgeon's Corner. Curmudgeon's Corner number 21. Happy New Year, everybody in the house.
What happened?
I have,
Did you have YouTube open?
I did. Everything went
Me too. It scared the crap of me, dude. I just had to turn it off.
absolutely went nuts. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, where were we? Papa Smurf's in the house. Papa Smurf, Humberto, Keith Firebird. Is it doing it again?
Nah, we're good, man. I hear you good. I just hear the background music.
No, I see it. Hold on a second. I don't think I'm going to. So we're trying to do a whole bunch of new things, and it looks like. Yeah, but I got. I'm trying to get. In live video. I can't do it. So the way that this new StreamYard works, you can have YouTube going, Facebook going, and now they have this live thing on you can do a live video on Instagram, but there's no way to silence the Instagram stuff. So all I'm hearing it in three-way back.
Yeah, cut
feed.
it. Cut the crap, Aaron. Just no one cares about Instagram. Cut it.
I did. I turned it off. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, remove that destination. Okay. Anyway, let's get this thing started. 2024 is off with a bang already. Great. We got some gremlins in the house, but we're working through. Eddie, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and coming on here. I've been getting a lot of DMs and text messages all week about you coming on the show, and everybody's really excited to have you here. So thank you so much for being here, Eddie.
I appreciate you having me. I love podcasts. If I could do one thing, like half naked, Aaron, it would be podcasting. Like from the short stand of course. No one wants to see this, right? It's like running in the rain. That's cool. This is cool. But I'm just saying, I really enjoy podcasting, and I appreciate you for having me. Like you could have had anybody else. So happy New Year, everyone in chat. I'm excited.
So, anything exciting for New Year's? Did you do anything exciting? Anything happen?
We went to Montana. Shout out to all the deers. The whole family came back sick. So I think my kid, we went to the doctor today. She has influenza B, her and Bev. So outside of that, we went to Montana, hung out with family. It was a good time. And then just been making content, Aaron. I've been making content sucks.
Well, I watched your chemical guys earlier today. I think you posted about 8 hours ago. So yeah, you definitely been throwing up a whole lot of stuff. Big shout out to Eileen and Fred, HM. I saw Miller Detailing in the house. Hawaii Tim's in the house. Titan Tim's in the house. Absolutely, smash that button there, Titan Tim. Christy's in the house. Good to see you. Thanks, everybody. Of all the places and all the world that you could be on a Saturday night, you're hanging out with Eddie and me, and I appreciate it.
Christy's been winning more stuff than 90% of America.
Right?
I texted her last night. I said, listen, dude, here's what you got to do. Go online, buy a lotto ticket. I'll sponsor you. Split it. Because she's won almost every giveaway. And she deserves it. Shout out to Christy. She deserves it.
Yeah, she definitely she did great in the Pay It Forward campaign. She was nominated, and then I heard that she won again. That's fantastic. I mean, I think that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I was. By the way, I wanted to bring that up because I think that was one of the most generous things I ever seen a company do. Is what you were doing, having people nominate other people and then giving back to the community. That's a beautiful thing, right? In the world that we live in, where people want to just sell products, the bottom line, how can we make $1? You're out here worrying about how can we bless somebody else. So that kudos to you and team to put that together, because that was wonderful. And then I appreciate you sending that to my dad because he's a rock star.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thanks. Yeah, I was having this conversation with Papa. He and I talk pretty much every day. We call it the drive-in. If we're going to do a podcast ever, we call it the drive-in. It's a half hour. Basically, we just talk about whatever hits us in the forehead as we're driving to work. But we had talked about, he was like, you're going to see a whole lot more companies try to, mimic you or take that off of you. And I said, you know what? That would be awesome. if you could have companies that were bigger than me, that had better stuff, that had farther reaching arms to give back to the community, then go, by all means, mimic away. I know Doug from Detail It. He did a Pay It Forward campaign locally that he said was inspired by us from last year, and we donated to that. I know that Hawaii Tim donated to that. A bunch of other people donated to that, and you know, if we can continue to, you know, to inspire, if for lack of a better word, and I don't want to pat myself on the back for that at all, because I want to, you know, that was anyway, one of the stories.
You don't have to like, Aaron, this is where it's at, right? You let others people speak good about you, because everybody knows what you did was phenomenal. Like Tim from Hawaii, a lot of people don't know this, but he'll send me stuff out of the blue and be like, hey, I'll put this in your giveaway. I don't say that. He asked me not to say it. I know he probably like, why are you saying that? But my whole goal with the whole YouTube thing wasn't to get subscribers. That's part of it, right? Was me and my wife were like, how can we give back? Because we've been blessed tremendously even throughout this whole cancer. Is how can we give back to the community? Rad, my boy Rick from Canada. What's up, Rad?
Yeah, we go international every week. Faux show. Yeah, if we can inspire bigger companies to do it, I think that's a, you know, everybody wins that way. So good. I'm glad that, and it was such a great success. And then, you know, being able to talk to some of the winners, or at least the people that sponsor or nominated the winners, and the way that we know that we've actually really touched and helped and changed, and it makes it all worth it. You know what I mean? I get now where I'm at in 2024. I'm like, how do we reproduce it again for 2024? Because 2023 was so amazing, and those all of that stuff that we donate, or the winners, it's all donated. It's not something that, you know, like I don't have the, obviously we're a small company. I don't have the means to buy all that stuff. We had probably close to $2,000 worth of equipment that
was wild. When you were dropping polisher names, here's what people don't think, right? Like, yes, it's chemicals, right? Yes, it's a polisher. But if you think about the cost of someone starting up, that's a huge blessing. Like, for somebody 6 years ago to send me a polisher, I would have been like, you know, it's a tremendous blessing. So what you're doing is impacting lives. I'm there next year. I do want to be part of that next year, if you allow me.
Of course. I absolutely. We want everybody to be a part of it. We love getting donations, and we love getting nominations. Like, that's the way it works. People that have can, and people that don't have should be nominated. The end.
Yeah.
So I was just going to wait a couple more minutes for people to kind of get in and get comfortable. And unfortunately, this is the first Curmudgeon's Corner out of 21 Curmudgeon Corners. This is the first Curmudgeon's Corner that is dry. And there's no apple juice. Well, this is caramel apple delight tea. So
I asked you in the back, right? I was like, Aaron, please, man, out of all the podcasts, right? I was hoping you're going to be a little tipsy, because I was trying to pull some things out. I was like, out of all the podcasts, dude decides to go dry on the 1st of January. Hey, you do you.
It's the only. Listen, I told you, it's the only month that I don't have something going on. Like, this is the only one. I'm like, let's see here. February, we have an anniversary, and, you know, Valentine's Day, and blah blah blah. And then I got St. Patty's Day in March, and everybody's Irish in March. And then my son was born in April, and then I was born in May, and then, you know, we start summer drinking, and that's the. So honestly, January is the only month on the calendar that is, you know, you can get away with. Plus, after all the heavy duty festivities for the last 2 months, the liver's like, hey, try some tea, huh?
Daddy needs some rest. Hey, take a seat. Take a seat, liver. I don't drink. I know I probably should, you know, but I do eat gummy bears. So shout out to these gummy bears my wife got me. One time, Aaron, I was out here and I started going on a sugar-free kick, and we were driving to like Utah, and I busted out a bag of gummy bears sugar-free. Let me tell you this, okay? Between you, me, God, and the podcast,
all right,
it was not good for the butt cheeks.
I've heard that.
It's
I've
wild.
heard that. My stepson and I we drove a tri-state area looking for sugar-free gummy bears because we read on the internet that it gives people explosive,
dude. Like, hey, believe it. Believe the hype.
We could. I think they pulled it. We couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah. I was reading this thing. I don't even know why we're talking about this. We're not a detailing podcast, but I was reading this this Amazon thing on sugar-free stuff, and I don't eat edibles. Come on, Tim. You know me. The only thing I'm eating is like chicken. And I read this comment about sugar-free gummy bears, and I bought some, and that's when I took a hit going to Utah. It was pretty gnarly.
The super chat options is when you're actually popular enough that you actually have subscribers, and we don't have any subscribers. So we are not monetized at all in any way, shape, or form on any of our channels. It's mostly my fault for not having like real content up, product videos, how to use our stuff. That's been something that I've been significantly lacking and slacking on, but I don't know if you guys remember Carazino from the old company, but he's been helping me, so we should be having some content out there soon, and then hopefully that'll get the subscriber base up, and that'll blah 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 blah. But at the same time, it's not really about that, and I do appreciate this, but what we talked about last time, or I should say last week during the award ceremony, we don't have the ability to be a money charity yet. There were a lot of nominations from the Pay It Forward campaign that people could really use money. I know there was a family that had their house burned down and they lost everything, including their car that was parked in the garage.
Bro, that's devastating. Like that to me is heartbreaking.
It's like, unbelievable. I could not imagine. I couldn't imagine. And my heart, like I ended up reaching out to the guy that nominated the family, and I was like, do they have any detailing abilities whatsoever? Can they use any part of detailing impact their life? And he was like, I don't know, maybe they could sell the polisher. And I'm like, well, that's not what we're trying to do. So
I do want to say this, because that when you did that big giveaway, just talk back about that, is when my wife was diagnosed with cancer last year in January, I got a text from a dude that I was his boss at work, and they had set up this whole corporate GoFundMe. And then Jamie the Cleaner, this one I only had like 50 subscribers. Jamie the Cleaner had me on his podcast, and I could never, ever pay back the things that were given to my wife to help us through that time. So I believe anything helps, even if it's monetarily or you're just giving away a polisher to him. All he knows is that during the suckiest time in his life, right? You lost your house, your kids don't have a bed, someone thought of him or them. So you did what you could. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's heartbreaking, and it's like, it's not enough. And
never enough.
It's never enough. So, all right. So we're about 15 minutes into this. Let's start to peel the curtain back a little bit. Rad wrote this earlier. I posted it. I put it up on the screen once. I'm going to put it up on the screen again. Eddie's taking over the internet. Let's talk about that for a second. So, Eddie, like, Rick's not wrong. So all of a sudden, it's like you're this personality. You're doing all these reviews. Companies are paying attention to you. They want to, they obviously, like myself, I'd love for you to review products, get products in your hands. I know Hawaii Tim has been beating the drum for you to review Phoenix stuff. Let's talk about your origin story, and then we will do that story arc into where you are right now. Let's start at the beginning. From what I understand, you're from Eastern PA. Is that not accurate?
Yes, I was born in Puerto Rico. Actually, to be specific, when my mom was about to pop me out, she went to Puerto Rico from the Virgin Islands. She went to Puerto Rico to the Virgin Islands. So my family's from Puerto Rico. We migrated Miami, and then I ended up living in Reading, PA for a while. I actually left there, went back to school in Orlando, played some sports, came back to PA, and then when my friend got shot, I ended up in a Christian college.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I ended up in West Coast Baptist College, and that's actually where I met Bev. So That's the condensed version. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, so what kind of got you into cars, into detailing, into?
Yeah, my dad. So a long time ago, man, it was like, so we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So what we did together wasn't go to Disney World or anything like that. It's dad would take these Volkswagen buggies, the 1969s, 1965 ones, and he'll like polish the chrome by hand. So I would take his sham towel. This is the kind of entrepreneur I am. I would take a sham towel, his cheap buffer, you know, the one that you hold two hands and it was a big circle, turtle wax, and I would go around the neighborhood detailing cars. So it all started with my dad, hanging out with my dad a long time ago. And then now I got my kids chilling with me in the garage detailing, and it just brings it back full circle.
So how long has that been? You think? How long you been?
14 since I was 14. I'm 39 now.
All right.
A long time, Aaron. I mean, professionally, it's been about 5 years.
Okay. And you're in Idaho now.
Yes, Pocatello, Idaho. I'm the only Puerto Rican person within 5,000 miles.
How much do you know about? How much? What kind of knowledge, Idahoan knowledge do you have?
Yeah, I'll tell you this: if you love mountain climbing, road biking, mountain biking, and anything that has to do with shooting animals, move here.
Yeah.
If you're from the city, Aaron, I'm telling you, Aaron, I don't care if you're from the city and you move here. Prepare yourself to be devastated. The first time I ended up in a country, right? You know how you drive to York, PA, and you see these people riding the donkey plowing their fields? That's a real thing over there in York, right? When I left there, went to California, ended up in Montana, the first thing I saw was 2 deers hanging on a tree being Christ-aired, bleeding. I called my dad. I was like, yo, Dad, here's where I'm at. Here's the address. I started taking pictures of license plates because I'm like, I'm about to die out here. This is the worst.
Well, I'll tell you, I found that so every year or every couple of years, my dad and I try to do like a fly fishing trip somewhere. The first year, I think we did Wyoming. Second year, we did Montana. Third year, we did Idaho. I loved it. We flew into what is it? Boise. We flew into Boise, drove from Boise to Stanley, Idaho. You know where Stanley is? Okay. And then from Stanley, we flew on this little tiny
plane,
prop plane, about another hour or so up into the Sawtooth Mountains, and we did a 5-day fishing trip on the middle fork of the Salmon River, all the way down the Salmon River, and it was probably the best 5 days of fishing with my dad I've ever had. And I was told that surface-wise, Idaho's one of the largest states, if not the largest state.
I think
surface-wise, because it's all smashed up in mountains. But if you were to flatten it all out flat, surface-wise, Idaho might be one of the largest states.
Look, a long time ago, Aaron, my wife's like, we're having this conversation because I'm in Montana. She goes, you know what your problem is, Eddie? I go, what's up? She goes, you never want to embrace where you're at. So she bought me a fly fishing pole. It had a cork. I put a little weight at the end. I had a dude teaching me how to cast because, you know, you got to keep the hand straight. And I'm in my backyard, and there's a running trail in the backyard. And I'm practicing my whipping it around. And I didn't see this lady. And I hit her in the head with the weight, dropped the fly fishing pole, went outside, turned all the lights off like I was about to get raided. Last time I picked up a fly fishing pole.
Well, I tell you what, I'll tell you something else about being in Idaho on the middle fork of the Salmon River. It was like day 4, and we were deep in the gorge. At night, you can see every single star there ever was. Everything. You can see everything. And I tell you, I never felt so small and so insignificant in your whole existence changes. Just seeing these mountains that have been there for millions of years, and you are nothing compared to the vastness of the universe and the splendor of these mountains. Eddie, I envy you. Other than the snow, I envy you. I always said, I would live in Montana if it wasn't under snow 10 months out of the year.
You don't wish that on yourself. That place sucks.
Oh, come on now.
But remember, like, it's like I don't do the stuff that you love. I shoot guns. I don't shoot animals. Not that I'm against it. I'll shoot an animal. I'll shoot an animal quick. But
I love shooting guns. What are you talking about?
yeah, me too. I'm American. I carry. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's not for me. I'm more of a concrete jungle. Go down to the bodega, grab myself a fruit roll up, pay 50 cents, and walk home.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so then how did you end up? Why did you end up in Idaho? Obviously, you've toured you've toured the universe. How'd you end up in Idaho?
So that's a great question. So it was 2014, and I was looking for. I received a job offer to work for a Verizon Wireless to run a store, and me and my wife were looking for better opportunities because I just finished school. Right, I just got a degree, and at that time I only had one degree in nursing, and then I got an eye disease, so I could even work. I can administer medicine or take shots. So I had to pivot. Went back to school for software development, and then I took a job here, and then I started running a youth group. So I run a youth group at Pocatello Baptist. Did that for 10 years, and that's how I ended up here.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so going back to Rick's comment about how you're everywhere now. So how did you get into the whole YouTube personality thing? Like, how did that happen? There's so many people out there that try and are not successful with it. You tried and you've hit the ground running, and like he said, you're everywhere. So what's going on with that? How does that happen? Like, what is your secret sauce of being a YouTube personality?
I'm super fortunate that I had Jamie the cleaner in my life from the beginning. So I'll start it here. It was last year, November, I made my first video. My mother-in-law came, and I get to the point, like, shout out to all the mother-in-laws for pushing out your daughters for us. But I get to the point where I'm like, I can't stand her. I love her. I'm just like, I can't stand you two together. I can't do. So then my wife was like, yo, go in the garage. Start a YouTube channel, she said. So I went to the garage, and my first video was me shooting a picture, a video of my Tesla with the rinseless wash. And then at that time, I made another video where I called absolute trash. And if you know me, Aaron, I'm just blunt. Everybody from the East Coast are a bunch of douchebags. So we're blunt. We're up front. So I remember Jamie reached out to me one time, and he's like, yo, you should come on a podcast. And at this time, my wife didn't have cancer yet. We never planned it. And then I went on. Then he found out that my wife had cancer, and he dedicated a video or a live for my wife called the Pink Episode. And I think it was because of Jamie the Cleaner. It motivated me to do that. So shout out to Jamie for his love, support. At that time, he was only at 11,000 subscribers. Now he's hitting 21.
Yeah, Jamie. I can't speak highly enough about Jamie. When Phoenix first started out, he had reached out to me, and he had made some not necessarily critiques, but he was just like, I could really help you with your pictures. Your pictures are kind of bad. And he would send them to me, and I would send them to him, and he would touch them up, and he would change, he would make them look actually good looking. And then of course he would take a bunch of his own pictures. He did a whole bunch of the Apex soap pictures. There's I think if you go to like Amazon and you look at some of the pictures on Amazon, they're his pictures of him with the black glove, with the truck in the background on the soap and stuff like that. So yeah, Jamie, he definitely.
Can I share this video? Can I share this picture real quick on here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is Jamie. This is what Jamie shares with me. Let me show you this. This is the stuff he sends me. I think you have to accept it for them to view it. So he'll send me troll pictures like this all the time. So I appreciate him. But yeah, he does God's work in the background. He's all about helping people.
Yeah, he is. For sure. What did Rad say? I have, and it's done nothing for. Yeah, I think Rick has every right to grind a stone, especially against Phoenix, because Phoenix keeps promising to send him a bunch of stuff, and Phoenix never does. And
Oh,
yeah,
when you do though,
we're like the
it,
biggest slackers on the planet.
no, you just is that rad? No one told us to pay the custom fees, bro. They cost more than my house payment.
Right? It's the whole reason why. That's the whole reason why Jamie the VW doesn't get anything from me. I always leave him out. Like I always send Jamie all kinds of stuff because dropping something down to Louisiana is nothing, but sending it to the other side of the continent into another country, man, they'd slam me hard.
Oh, he will make. Look, he said something. He said, "I'll make." Hey, he's not lying.
I know he's not. He's not.
Hey, you want Apex soap to be famous? Suck it up, Buttercup. Ship it tomorrow.
Papa has been banging this drum for 2 years. I'll introduce you. I'll talk to you. Well, he's done all of that and more. And all right.
You want him to do God's work with your Apex
I'm writing it down.
soap?
2024 Rad Garage.
You want the 40-degree spray off, the dope music in the background, I
will say this. I'm not sending it until March. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, you want him to
half
do
the stuff
work?
is going to freeze.
He doesn't care.
Doesn't he live in the Arctic Circle?
No, he's fine. It's not snowing
sure?
up there.
I'm pretty sure it's Canada. Isn't all of Canada inside the Arctic Circle?
No, they didn't get snow this year.
They didn't get snow this year?
No, for real, they didn't. It's Canada, like Rick's been wearing board shorts and tight undies for the last 7 months.
Rick, how cold is it outside right now? Maybe May. Say he even agrees. Maybe May. Good call. Maybe May.
Rad, he's not about that life. First he said he'll make it look good, then he don't want it. Send it to Dewar. You'll never get a video. If you send that to Alex Dewar, you'll get a video. Maybe he's starting up, so subscribe to Alex.
Winter is coming this week. Yep. See?
That's what they said on the what's that called? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, winter's coming.
Winter's coming.
My freezer doesn't even get that cold. So, you said you had something for me? I don't.
Yeah, I got questions. I got questions. So,
all right, go ahead.
So, we've heard your story about you being with Extreme. You used to be with Extreme Solutions.
Yes.
What kind of feedback do you take from anyone that's not a content creator to either make a change to one of your chemicals or look outside of your circle of people that might know, okay, this might work, this might not work?
Run that question by me just one more time.
What kind of influence do you take in, or how do you pivot your chemicals to work for everyone, or do you take feedback from other people outside of your circle, like outside of Brian from Apex, your horseman? Do you take feedback outside of your circle to make
absolutely? So I got to word this.
Just say it, dude.
I don't know. I don't really want to just say it, and the reason for that is because there's like I kind of believe that I don't need to drag any of that stuff with me. You know what I mean? That's all rear view mirror stuff, right? It's all.
No, but you know what I'm asking, right? Like, how do you?
Yeah. So the first part of your question is, it's easy with Phoenix because hey Fab, what's going on, buddy? Because we make our own stuff. We're in control of our own destiny. We're not getting it from somebody else. We're not rebranding. We're not a white label and things of that nature. As far as the influence of creativity, there are the four horsemen. There are 4 different professional detailers right here in the area that I work with, and we'll go over. That's usually the first step is usually with those guys, and then we get to like the 4 horsemen. Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing, he has been an absolute friend. He has been an absolute dream to be able to work with. He has an engineering background, so he's very data driven, very analytical. He is very aware of variables which is what I like. I like the fact that he's very aware of variables, meaning temperatures, humidities, climate conditions, things of that nature, inside, outside, both. And so usually when we're doing like a product development, we'll take all of that feedback from all of those different sources. And, and I have notebooks upon notebooks of products where we'll, cross-examine the data, what everybody likes, what everybody doesn't like, what some people like, what some people don't like, and then like what's right down the middle. And you get to keep tweaking that and twisting that until you get one of those, like the Peleus panel prep across the board. People are like, this is magic in a bottle. Ha-da!
Yeah,
and
that
then
panel prep is so good.
And then that's how that is. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but then how do you? I got more questions. You mind me keep asking?
Yeah, no, by all means. Yeah.
So then, how do you determine the optimal time to reassess your current line? So that question is more when the technology changes, and it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know technology for chemical creation, blending, all that jazz changes, or people discover something raw. When do you reassess your current chemical line to stay with the times, either make it more dilutable, make it stronger strength without being so caustic and things of that nature?
Well, the really cool, the easy part about that is that I have a really cool chemist, and he's usually pretty proactive about like, hey, here's a good example. We have this. We have an interior version of the Kraken that we've been working on, and because the science is just different. There's obviously different chemicals will behave differently, and they can attack the same problem but from a different angle, and so the interior version is way safer in regards to the pH. Like in full strength, Kraken is pretty high pH at full strength.
It's what, 12 or 13?
It's yeah, right out of the bottle. It's up there. It might even be 14, like straight. So theoretically, it could be considered caustic, and not even theoretically, it's considered caustic at that level because of the high pH. So if you can do something that is equally as powerful, eliminating that pH and making it more pH neutral, and then of course making it safer for upholstery and plastics and leathers and pleathers and things of that nature, all the stuff that is typically normally found in an interior, so that you don't have to focus so much on, do I have the dilution exactly correct, because I don't want to hurt anything. Make something that I like to think is a little bit more user friendly, that you don't have to be as careful in using the product, right? So kind of to answer your question, I have a really cool chemist that is always like, hey, we just discovered we can do this. You want to try it? And I go, yeah, let's try it. And then two, the other hand is I'm always looking at other companies out there, watching your videos, watching Pan the Organizer's videos, watching videos where a lot of different, instead of like, I'm not looking for somebody that's a fanboy of Phoenix. I'm not looking for somebody who's a fanboy of one particular company or another. I'm looking for people that are willing to keep an open mind and review a whole lot of different products from a whole lot of different companies. And then kind of once you start hearing a certain product being mentioned more and more and more, we focus in on that guy and go, all right, what is that guy doing? Chances are I'll end up buying a bottle. If it's available on Amazon, I'll buy a bottle of it just so that I can see what it is, what it's going on, and then we'll send it through its paces, and then if we have to reevaluate and evolve, we reevaluate and evolve. The other part of the story is, like, for example, for Papa Cut, we didn't go through any of that process. We just felt that we could do it better. We could get it to finish down finer without sacrificing the aggressiveness that it already is. So if we can do it better, we'll do it better. It's not one of those things. And like, we have the flexibility of being the company that we are, that if we can do it better, and because my guy is constantly in the lab, like he's really only happy in the lab fooling around with chemistry and trying to do different stuff. And that's, when you can find somebody that's willing to do that, he gets, if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. If this guy loves playing with chemicals, go to town, dude. Go to town. Let's see if we can do it.
So I always wanted to ask you this even a long time ago. So when you created Phoenix, I know this is your podcast. Tell me when to stop. I just have a slew of questions.
That's fine.
When you created Phoenix, what problems were you trying to solve at that time?
When I created Phoenix?
Yeah, what problem were you solving for the end user?
Well, okay. Man, you're really
I do this with JB on my podcast, so these are the questions that come. I have a few more that I want to tag on, but
I appreciate that. Like I'm just trying to not stir up any kind of
you can't get canceled. You're on the show.
No, I know that, but it just opens up a negative door, and I don't need to put that crap out into the universe. People that know the story, they know the story. But one, I'm not gonna. I was tired of being pigeonholed.
Yeah.
I remember saying all the time, we can do this better. Why aren't we doing it better? There has to be somebody else out there that we can talk to. There has to be a different company that we can talk to do it better. We're going up against all these, at the time, there weren't so many different companies out there. I mean, now it seems like there's a new startup popping up every other day. I'm one of them. Hey, what's going on? Andrew from Australia's in the house. So that was the first thing. Was like there was better technology that already existed, and the fact that we weren't being proactive about trying to stay with it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, clear coats had changed. The technology of painting was changing. We went there. Obviously, the rotors to the DAs that seemed to be relatively new. Ceramic coatings were just introduced during my tenure there, and there was like all of this new technology was coming out, and I just felt like we were so stuck doing it the way that we've always done it, and then the wheels fell off the wagon, internally, personnel wise, and a bunch of other nonsense, and it got to the point where my whole crew that I had built, they were all done, and then finally it felt to me like it wasn't sustainable, and so I was like, I'm done. And then it was kind of like, well, we were willing to invest all of this money and whatnot into this. Why don't we invest all of the money into Phoenix and see what we can do? And then I went around to the Horsemen and a bunch of other guys, and was just kind of like, if this is something that I want to do, would you support me? And they were all, yeah, absolutely, we'll support you. So,
and do you feel like, sorry, Aaron, I got so much question. Your story is beautiful, right? Because I know you don't want to spread negativity, and maybe it's like what the Rad Company once said about me. I just go into a lab and think of all these negative questions, which is not true. But do you feel like the Four Horsemen? Like, I know Papa Smurf. I don't know him, but I like to know him. His beard is amazing. Anyway, I don't know Mr. Fab. I do know Phil. We had him on our podcast. And then who was Apex? Brian from Apex. I've been watching the guy for a while. Do you feel like when you started the mission of having having the Four Horsemen, that you're getting the help that you need, or do you feel like you don't need them anymore to help the brand? When I say need them, you're always going to have them in your life. Right. I mean, need them to market for you. Do you feel like you're at a place in your business that Phoenix is sustainable? Everyone knows that it's becoming a household brand. And have you ever thought about adding more horsemen to the lineup?
I don't think I don't remember in literature there ever being a fifth horseman or a sixth horseman.
2023, dude. 2024, we can do whatever we want. YOLO.
But listen, I think I think it would be foolhardy to say that you don't need anybody.
Yep.
I think that it'd be unbearably egotistical to say that I don't need these guys. I mean, just as recent as 3 hours ago, I was on the phone with Fab talking about products.
And not need, like, to say like you don't. Hey, I don't need you. Just take a seat. It's more like, thank you all for what you did for me. That you don't require it. I don't know how else to word it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. No, I don't, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that any of them have done a product showcase on our products per se. I think I know Papa Smurf. He does a bunch of like different Hydra washes and stuff like that, but it's usually involved in like another. Like a detail, he's detailing a vehicle, or Fab will be detailing a vehicle, and he'd be like, "I'm using Chronos on this particular Camaro or something of that nature." But like as far as like in the very beginning when they were actually doing like a showcase, let me show you what Papa Cut can do. Let me show you what Fab Polish can do. I would say like I don't believe that. See, showcasing is his jam. All right, May. I will have it to you. I will have it to you in May, Rick. Come on. I'm sorry. I don't know. I said sorry before, and I'm sorry again. All right, I'll keep saying I'm sorry.
Hey, Rick, we'll hold him to the fire on that one because I want to see some Apex soap coming out of
a trip. I would love to have some showcasing. Obviously, I would love to have some showcasing. Is it necessary at this stage in the game? Not necessary. But I do so truly value them just promoting a new product. When I launched Peleus, they all put Peleus in one of their videos. I know, like Apex, he uses it in the background. Like he doesn't go, "I'm using Peleus panel prep," blah 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 blah. But like he's like, "We're going to panel prep this vehicle before our PPF," and he sprays the bottle with Peleus panel prep. And that just
I do want to tell you sorry. I do want to tell you sorry. I do owe you an apology. I'm gonna do this publicly.
Why?
When you first came out with Peleus, I thought, oh man, this is gonna be trash. That's what I thought. Okay. And then I bought the first one, and then Keith Firebird sent me the second one. So I bought the first one with Hydra and a sponge.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't try it. I left it in the box because I do stuff in order. I'm weird. And then I used it, and bro. Forgive me, Father. I used it. It's phenomenal. I think at the end of the day, you made a banger with Peleus. Peleus is absolutely fired. It's great. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, when I did the cleaner cast with Jamie, and he was just like, at first I was like, did you just send me a 50-50 IPA? Did you send me a 50-50 IPA? And I was like, no, man, no. And then I sent him did I send you the video? I sent him the video. Sure. I was just like, anybody that says that this is a 50-50 IPA, you haven't seen Foamtown, USA. And I hosed that drum with the IPA. And it was like a soap almost. See? Exactly. I could not tie my shoes without Papa Smurf. Exactly. I will always need the Four Horsemen. Not only just the Four Horsemen, but I will always need everybody.
But some companies, all right, I'm just letting
you know that I try, as long as I'm still alive and as long as I'm still in charge of Phoenix E.O.D, every person that orders something from our website will get a handwritten decal that says thank you for your support, because we couldn't exist without every single customer, without every single influencer, without every single person just saying, hey, I tried this today and I liked it. I think that so often companies lose sight of that. And I've heard it with my own ears, I don't need your money, click. And you're right. Maybe I don't need your money, but I need your support. So why be an a-hole?
And they're the first ones to go bankrupt. But here's why I brought that question up, right? You see all these companies starting out where they'll bring someone on to be the face of it or faces of it. The company gets to the point where they're self-sustainable, right? People buy on Amazon, people buy here and there, and they lose track of their beginnings or their grassroots of where they came from or how they got there. And for you, your journey, how I remember you even back in the day is the Four Horsemen.
for sure.
That's how I remember it. So that's why I brought that up.
No, I appreciate that. No, I think that these guys, I think that they all have, everybody, they're all growing. Everybody's always growing. Apex now, he has his own product line.
I got a question about that.
Before we got together, as Phoenix and the Four Horsemen, I know that he was with Art to Shine and a bunch of stuff, and now he's developed his own BC line, and so they have their own thing. Phil, he does his own thing. Phil has never been a guy to. He doesn't want anything from me. He doesn't. He's a friend. Like Phil's a friend, and I can call him up at any given day, and we talk about all sorts of different things. We talked from mineral removers and to everything. Do I need him to beat the gloss and wax drum every other day on every one of his details? Absolutely not. Nor was that the agreement with any of these guys. Like I didn't, will you showcase all of my stuff all the time? It was, we'll support you, and that's just having them support me. That was enough. And as far as these guys will always be my horsemen for forever.
And that's, like I said, that's how I remember. See? I just wanted to ask you that because you get, like I said, we get a lot of companies who start off and then they become, they have that big company energy, the BCE. They have that big company energy where they feel like, oh man, people are coming in, and then the people that were there from the beginning are left. Are left. They never.
There's a guy on my team. There's a guy on my team that has happened to 3 times, and he has been part of some companies that are huge, and I mean huge, and they would not have gotten to where they're at without him. And the fact that when when they finally got to that growth, and it was just like, you're not really worth what we're still currently paying you.
Really? See, that pisses me off.
Man, you have no idea how. Now it's like a mission. It's a Phoenix mission to bury these mofo. Like I want to bury them, and I want him to be by my side when we stand over the fiery ashes. Like honestly, and that's the number one reason why he's on my team. It's just like, yes, you know what? We're together. Yeah, we're gonna show them exactly why they're wrong. Again, loyalty for me is pretty much paramount.
Thank you for answering that. I know that's a tough question to answer, especially, and I'm not trying to start problems. It's just one of those questions I always had for you, because that says a lot about you, right? That you're not about to grow and leave them stranded or be like, I did this by myself. So kudos to you. I do have another question, or you can ask me a question.
Hold on real quick. I want to circle back around. I want you to know that on the back of the bottles of the Four Horsemen bottles, there are the YouTube channels and the social media of the Four Horsemen. So like on the back of the Fabulous Finishing Polish, there's Fab's YouTube channel. And there is, I don't know if it might be his IG and stuff like that. And the same thing as far as Papa Cut is concerned, and Gloss and Wax and the Apex Wash. And the reason for that is, at some point, if we ever become bigger than any of those companies or those personalities, I want somebody in Timbuktu that has never heard of Papa Smurf 918 to be buying a bottle of Papa Cut because Papa Cut is so popular, or Phoenix is so popular, and they see this and they go, who's this Papa Smurf 918? And then his channel continues to grow. Like it's my hope, my desire is that as I get bigger, like it starts to feed back into those guys that help me. Like that's the idea, is that it feeds back into them. And so that those labels will never change. That unless they're obviously, if their YouTube channels change, I'll update the labels. But that's the idea, is they help me get started, and then as Phoenix gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it feeds back into their channels and their livelihood and all of that stuff, because those channels are all monetized, and that's all I want. I want everybody to be, as the tide rises, all boats float higher.
Unless they have a hole in it.
Unless they have a hole in it.
Yeah. That's devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I got another question.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you answered all my questions. Absolutely. Do you have any questions for me, or can I keep rolling?
Keep rolling. I mean, hold on. Time out. Does anybody have any questions for Eddie? Let's get. How many we got? We have 44 people in the room. Wow, I think that's a record.
Hey, shout out to everybody online. Let's get it popping. Ask the questions. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything for Eddie before we start talking about my blood type?
Bro, Aaron, you said ask me whatever. So
no, you're 100%. You're 100%.
You said ask for whatever.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to. All right. How did Eddie start getting into detailing? That was because he was detailing with his dad, right? Your dad got you into it. How many other jobs does Eddie have?
All right, that's a great question. So I am a by trade, so everyone knows this. I own a detailing business. Actually, it's on Google. We do that Thursday, Friday, Christy. Saturday. I own a detailing business. I own a side job where I build websites or help consult on how to make website presentation faster, easier, and so on and so forth. I don't do SEO or anything like Chris or Fred. Fred's my SEO guy, so I only trust him to do my stuff. But I work for a total.
Fred is awesome.
He's amazing.
Fred is awesome. He and Phoenix has never really synced up, but he is always checking in on me. He's always asking me how this is going and how's that going. So Fred is a solid dude. Sorry to interrupt.
So I got total 6 jobs, Aaron. So I run an IT department. I build software, apps, mobile apps on the side, and then I work with different companies to help them with ideation in their projects, and I test chemicals for other people.
I think that's supposed to say, Eddie, did you say Papa Smurf is into dudes? That comes from Hawaii Tim.
I said Papa Smurf is my dude. Tim, he's trolling. He's trolling.
Oh, sorry. I misread that. Okay. Eddie Aaron has given a little me. Oh, stop. It's true. Ospro is the Australian distributor for all things Phoenix. He's the only Australian distributor, and yeah, for sure, Andrew is a solid dude. How is Beverly doing today? That's a good question.
That's a great question. So 3 weeks ago, we had a scare that they found another lump on her breast. Boy. The breast was actually, so everyone doesn't know that on January 1st of last year, they found a 8mm what's it called? Mass right by her chest wall that in 3 months it grew to 16mm. It was super aggressive. So we had a double mastectomy. She could recover from that. Her first chemo, she actually died in the bathroom. I had to rip the bathroom door open, give her mouth to mouth. She recovered from that. Thank God, bro. That was the worst day of my life. And then we got through her last surgery, which was 3 months ago. And then like 3 weeks ago, they're like, hey, we found something else. We did an MRI, and then just thank God that it's just where they had the stitches at or her scar, that it was just scar tissue. So she's improving day by day. Her hair is growing back. She's happier. It's I'm just grateful that we're here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember when I found out last year. My mom she's a survivor, and I know that it's absolutely terrifying experience to have to go through.
It changes your life, man. Because at the end of the day, it's like when your 13-year-old finds her mom in the bathroom not breathing, and you hear a scream like, I wish this on no one, and you hear a scream that you felt like someone was coming in the house and breaking in, it just changes you, man. And I'm sitting there, and always when I think about this, I always cry. So if I cry, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No,
I haven't cried in a minute. So I'm sitting there, like the bathroom closes is this way, so I had to open this way. I had to punch the hole in the bathroom door, and I started ripping it, and then my hands were bleeding, and I'm just sitting there yelling at the top of my lungs when I'm pulling my wife out the bathroom, like, Lord, please don't take my wife. Yeah, it was heavy, dude. It's been a trial for sure.
But I mean, you get through it, and you're going through it, and it's making you stronger. When I was cyber stalking you on Facebook, and I'm going through all your going through all your histories and your pictures and stuff like that, like I can just see that you are just so family oriented. Every one of your pictures is you and your family and loved ones, and you're constantly surrounded. And I know that your faith intertwines throughout all of you. It's really a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful story, and I think that together you guys are strong, and together you guys are getting through that. And not to take away from your story, but I know that when my brother was going through what he was going through down at Walter Reed, and the whole family was moved into that room with him, like as a unit, they grew so much stronger together, and they all had each other to lean on, and to go through that together, and they kind of grew as a unit. So, I hope that blessing happens to you and your family as it continues to happen.
And the wild thing about this is it did. Like me and my kids, we're super tight anyway. And I always wanted to do what my dad did with me and just be there. But for me, and this is what I think I made a video about this, how YouTube changed my life. A lot of people use YouTube to see how many subscribers they get. To me, it was an outlet because all I had to look forward to was working, and we rotated shifts with my kids, right? So my kids had to stay home from school. They did homeschool at home. And while I was working, they were checking up on mom, and they would walk around the corner and just see her laying in bed, and they couldn't do anything. So, dang, bro, I don't even know why you brought this up. But YouTube gave me a way out when she was able to. Sorry, man. Yeah,
it's all right. It's all right. Hey, let me. I'll tell you. Eileen threw out a great question earlier, and it kind of segues to what we were just talking about. So, Eddie, I love that you're sharing, detailing with your daughters. Was it easy to get them into it, and how did that happen?
Yeah, so me and my wife started a detailing business, and it got to the point where we needed more hands. So I had a choice. I could hire someone outside the house, or I set my kids down and look, there's only one thing I could give you in this life, and it's hard work, because I got bills to pay when I die, and you're gonna have to use that money to pay those bills. So I remember sitting there and pointing out Wanda and Isabel. I said, if I paid you $15 an hour to start, and this was years ago, would you do it? Yeah, but I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be hard work, because I'm gonna push you like I push myself, because I want you to be great, right? And everything you do it to all that might. I teach them to do their best in everything they do, right? I'm not gonna pay you, and I gotta go back and do your work. I can take money away from them. So I had them shake my hand. They agreed. The first year they hated my life. They hated me. They're like, Dad, you're just a hard boss. The second year, they're like, I love it. And then after the second year, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give you a raise. So I give them a $5 raise. And then I told Isabel, if you get trained on how to polish a car from Ivan, I'll raise your money up to $25 an hour. And she did. She stayed in class with 3 guys, Sock, Ulysses. Ivan came down, taught a whole group, and she learned how to polish. And now they both do it. I don't even have to ask them. They take care of the inside, they take care of the outside, and they get ready for me to ceramic coat and polish. So
that's fantastic. How old are they?
Isabel is 13, Wanda's 14. They started when they were 12 and 11. No, younger than that. They're younger than that.
That's fantastic. I got one more question that I starred. This came from Super Auto a little while back. What is your favorite CG product so far? Is that Chemical Guys? Are they talking about Chemical Guys?
Bro, I never tried Chemical Guys until last week or the week after that. And never in my life have I picked it up. I've always been that guy. Like when I finished college the first time, I told myself I'll never buy like non-name brand peanut butter.
Right.
So I buy Jif, right? So I'm not gonna. I walk past the cheap stuff, buy Jif. I don't care how much it is. I'm that guy, right? So when I started buying chemicals, I'll just buy the most expensive one, thinking they're the best. So I passed. I went. Anyway, I tried Chemical Guys. I think my favorite one is the rinseless wash.
Yeah, I saw that video today. Yeah.
I was like, for $12? Yeah, it's worth it.
All right. Have you been to SEMA yet ever?
Nope.
So usually at SEMA they have the ginormous booth, and it's got all these walls with all these lit shelves, and they have their products on all of the lit shelves. And it's every single unnatural color in the universe on the walls, all the neons, all the, and it's usually like a little mini concert. They're throwing T-shirts, and I mean, like it is a party
I'm
over at the
going
Gilligan
this
Guys
year. I'm
booth.
going this year for sure.
I will say that they do marketing very, very well. You can't knock it. I obviously I haven't tried a whole lot of their products. But everybody and their mom knows who Chemical Guys are. They do marketing very, very well.
Like I wouldn't. All right, I'm gonna say this. Like I wouldn't proactively go buy it, not because they're not great, but because I have so much other stuff I lean on.
Sure.
But say one day Isabel decides to use all of my interior cleaner. Oh, Daddy's gonna have to go to AutoZone and pick up something that works. So it might as well. You got to know if it works or not. So that's why we test. But
right.
I think
it's content for nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, before we go too much further, I just wanted to say thanks for sharing that. Obviously, it's a very deep and emotional story. I love that you're a man of faith, and it shows. And I love that you're a family man, and it shows. And so I appreciate you sharing that with us. So thank you.
Heavy.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next page.
Let's go.
What have you got for me?
All right. This is during the establishment of the brand. Well, did you design it to appeal to both sides of detailing? So was it for both mobile and shop?
100%. 100%. Two of the guys that I hang with, they're mobile guys, and I'm pretty sure when I first started this shindig, Titan Tim, he was pretty much primarily mobile, and so it was really, really easy to test products out in the field. I think I spent my early days, my career was EMS. I was in EMS for nearly 20 years, between fire and ambulance. There's everybody knows there's a vast difference between book learning and street learning.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like
sure.
the way that things are taught in the classroom versus what happens out in the street are vastly different. Controlled environment versus a completely chaotic and uncontrolled environment. I think the same thing happens when it comes to developing products in the lab, testing products in a garage, and then testing products outside. And if you don't do your due diligence and try to determine, all those different variables and the outcomes of those variables, you're not doing your job. And that's why, when I talk to my I like to call them field engineers. When I talk to my field engineers, we have a very diverse group of people in diverse different climates so that we can get a really broad spectrum of data on how the products are going to perform in each environment. My mother is a master gardener for the state of Pennsylvania, and she talks about, the growing zones, and like, oh, I think you're a growing zone 7. We're a growing zone 6, so things are going to grow a little bit differently in 6 than they are in 7. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I just want to know if I'm overwatering my azalea. That's all I want to know. Anyway, so the point of my story is you absolutely have to test, and we try to make our products as applicable as possible. I remember, I think I've talked about this before in one of my Curmudgeon corners. Detail Dive they were doing one of their podcasts, and Matt was saying, I wish that somebody would just develop a product for Phoenix, Arizona, 120 degree weather, blah, 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 blah. And from a manufacturer's point of view, I'm like,
That's so left pocket though. Like,
right?
How many days do you have 110 degrees, bro?
Well, not only that, but it's just like that's such a niche market. Like, am I going to spend all that money and resources to sell to that?
No, tell them to use distilled water and walk away.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I tried to tell. I said
Go
it's
buy
kind
distilled
of
water, dude.
you kind of have to level or bring your skill as a detailer. Like I can give you a really good product, and then it's your job as the master detailer to kind of tweak it to make it work for you in your environment, in your situation.
I think that's
in my opinion.
Like, well, there's a thing and they talk about in UX design. When you design for everyone, you design for no one. So you have to narrow your focus, right? Because you start designing stuff. Well, it works in 110 degrees, but does it work in 20 below, 10 below? No one cares. Just make sure you do your due diligence to make sure it doesn't leave stains on the car. Your customer's happy. You do your best. Don't lie to them, right? Just keep it simple. Detailing's not hard.
Well, it's I think why we designed Hydra the way that we designed it. Without any fluff in it. No protection and all that stuff, because if you're doing it in really, really cold temperatures where a lot of application for a rinseless wash is needed, if you have a lot of like polymers and things on it, that's when you start to lead to streaking. That's when things start to get left behind and smears, because it's colder and the chemicals behave differently on the surface of on a cold surface than they do on a hot surface. And so if you try to eliminate all of those extras and you just go for, I'm trying to make a really nice, clean, that's it. Without all the frills and the whistles and stuff like that, I think that's where you can really, knock it out of the park that way.
So let me ask you then. So let's talk about Hydra for a bit.
Uh-oh.
No, I promise to keep it simple.
I don't have any apple juice.
Yeah, start the pipe. Get the pipe ready. Get the pipe ready, boys, girls. All right, start the pipe. So,
well, the diagnosis murder. Anyway, go ahead.
So the Hydra.
Yep.
I think, and I'm a rinseless whore. No, I'm not proclaimed to be the best detailer. I think Fab. There's other people online that are way better than I am, but I am a rinseless whore. Like I use it for everything, and I probably have like every rinseless under the sun. Would there ever be a time where you would try? Hear me out. Don't say no yet, okay, Aaron?
I'm not saying no. I never said. We have a whiteboard of not no's.
Were you ever try to make Hydra Plus or call it something different, where it's a hybrid rinseless? Let me explain the why. Okay, let me explain.
Well, explain to me what the hybrid is.
The hybrid is surfactant detergent that can foam on slick, doesn't leave anything behind. But I could either have it at 256. Right. I could either put 2 or 3 ounces in a foam can and foam it on. And then if I do that, I could put in a keg, right? A foaming keg, foam it on. I put rinseless in the bucket. I could go on dry. Don't have to worry about rinsing it off. So when I think of hybrid, I'm thinking it does both. Would you ever consider to do that? And here's the why. The reason I tend to do that is if I could buy one product, right, where I could either use this as soap, or we say soap, I could put it on, spray it off, and just rinse and wash it. I'd rather do that than have to buy a soap, than buy a rinseless, or do this, do that. So would you ever consider in the future to try it?
Sure. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, there's something that in a different application that we are actually working on, something that you just described. And it even has a little protection in it.
I don't want protection. I care. All right.
I know you don't want protection, but this particular client does, and that's what we're tinkering with. We're looking for a foaming rinseless that has some protection.
Tell the client. No, I'll keep that to myself. I'll keep that for the Keep It Real pocket. But hear me out. Hydra.
Let me ask you the first question that comes to mind, and I should have pressed Jamie on this earlier when I was on the show. Press me. Go ahead. What is the need to foam? What does foam bring to the table?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a phenomenal question. Then you're going to say this after I answer it. You're going to say, why not use Apex soap? So hear me out. I live in a place where I don't want to use a lot of water. I'm not a hippie, and I pay my water bill. I just sometimes, dude, I'm lazy. Look at my body type, Aaron. It's okay. I don't want to go up there, turn on the Krenzla.
I just want to know what foam brings to the table.
Foam brings a better cleaning power for higher film cars. So right now I use ADG Fusion, or I use Flex Wash or Eco Wash. I could foam it on, let it sit there for a little bit, come back and just do my rinseless, and it does a better job than me using a full polymer from my test.
And that only comes in a foam. Like you can only get that. And I'm talking about like an actual pocket of chemical with air inside that pocket. That can only come, like foam is the only thing that can do that.
When you, I guess to answer your question with the question, because I don't know what you're asking, but when you use a surfactant inside of rinseless, what's it for?
Right. And surfactant's going to foam.
Right, it's going to foam. And what does the surfactant do?
The surfactant cleans.
Right. So when we think of polymers, we think, okay, the polymer encapsulates. Surfactants emulsifies. So I want it. So what you're trying to do, you and all these other companies, you're trying to marry two different types of chemical to make one thing that people want. You got to go all polymer.
But like I'm saying, like we added something to Hydra to keep it from foaming because we don't want it to foam.
Right.
And the reason for that is that foam that gets left behind also will leave residue behind. It's just the nature of it. Like
what science is behind that?
When that little bubble pops, you're going to leave a little ring behind when that bubble pops. So if you don't leave a bubble, there's nothing to pop. There's nothing for it to be left behind.
Maybe you go what Fab said, right? Foaming's for the honeys, or isn't that the right? But Tim, frothy is a better word. Not like thick foam. Frothy. I just, for my test, I have a book here that I use where I write things down based on the chemicals that I test.
Right. No, listen, I'm not trying to be
we're talking, man.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to be a doucher. I just like if you can achieve the exact same thing that you're looking for in a foam, but without having it actually foam, isn't that a win? You have the surfactants, you have the polymers, you have all of that stuff. But then if it doesn't foam, so that you eliminate the risk of those side effects. That's kind of where I'm driving.
So what made Peleus? Is that how you say it? What made your panel? Yeah. What made your Peleus so good?
What's that?
What made your Peleus so good?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I don't need the chemistry, but it foams. And there's it does a little popping on a mirror. It does a tiny bit.
It 100% foams.
Yeah. So why'd you do it that way?
Okay. We did it that way because we could. Two, so we added this stuff that really, really, really brings home that cleaning power. And that stuff is it is highly agitatable, which is what that foaming is.
Yeah. You see my point. You don't have to. I do
see your point.
You made Peleus so good, right?
But the difference between Peleus and Hydra is that Hydra we wanted to be able to use in all of those different climates. Like again, going back to the cold and going to things of that nature, where I can't imagine a scenario where I'm ever going to apply Peleus in a foam cannon. I think when you're trying to do a panel prep, it's a lot more controlled. I think that you're trying to do a smaller section, you're working a smaller section, you're working a panel, versus something like rinseless wash where you're going to be covering a large section of areas and you don't really care where it goes and all of that other stuff. I think and so in the design of this product versus the design of that product, we weren't really necessarily concerned about the foaming capabilities of Peleus. If Peleus foams, that's great. It's just one of those.
Yeah.
For me, it was one of those feathers in the cap that basically anybody that wants to tell me that it's a 50-50 IPA can go cram it. Like, because there's no 50-50 IPA on the planet that's going to foam like that stuff. Ever.
For sure, unless you put Dawn in it.
Yeah, unless you put Dawn in it, I guess. I don't know. I know that we used to spray alcohol in the soap when it would get too foamy. We would spray alcohol in the soap to make all the bubbles disappear. So I don't know what Dawn versus
I no, I just in my mind the only reason I bring that up is because like I said, I do mainly rinse swashes. Some of them is frothy. That's a better word. Frothy, a little, and it tends to clean better, from my experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Peleus flashes in hot weather. In the garage where it's like 68 degrees, it wasn't flashing that fast. Just my garage.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. That's all. You answered all my questions. Oh, I got one more, but I think this one's too controversial, so I'll leave that for another time.
It's possible to do hydro with a couple drops of Apex to get the surfactants and a kick of foam. Yeah, it's possible. Sure. Anything you can do. Yeah. I mean, ask Titan Tim. He's always down there tinkering with stuff. And hey, if you do Kraken at 1/3, mix it 50-50 with the Furies, you have the most incredible tire and wheel cleaner of all time. Yeah.
All right, what are your thoughts? This is the question I got. So you came out with Furies. I think yours was the first, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, was one of the first that introduced a good smelling iron remover.
Yes, sir.
Right. No one talks about that. We talk about Stoners because they're a little bigger brand, right? Yes, they came out with their they came out with their iron remover. You were first.
We beat them to the market. Sure.
What makes yours different from all the new ones coming out? So let me name a few. Ethos came out with the wheel cleaner now. Doesn't smell. Does zero. Open the bottle, doesn't smell. Don't know the chemistry. You have Stoners that came out with theirs, but make sure that if you're outside and you care about your concrete and it's not sealed, add water or soap because it will stain your concrete. And then you have others coming out with all these non-smelling. Why didn't you? How do you feel about that? And then why didn't you push yours a little harder? Because yours does smell good and it works good. So,
well, I mean, again, everybody that you just named is infinitely bigger than me.
Okay.
Right out of the gate. I mean, my reach is very, very small. And it's very easy for larger companies to reverse engineer stuff. It just is. I'm familiar with the technology. I know Fab would tell me stories of his dad used to work for a chemical company, and they have a machine. They have a machine that basically you just drop the chemical in there, and it'll give you down to the percentages of everything that's in there. And that's not uncommon for larger companies to do that. I'm just,
Well, I guess I want to say here first. I think Furies is great. It smells. It doesn't smell bad. And then to Fab's point, you can use whatever you want that works good. But for me, I work in a confined area, and I wash inside 90% of the time, and I don't want it to smell. My kids don't want. All right, let me state. My kids don't want it to smell. I could care less.
Sure.
Yeah. I just think I always thought about that.
I think that was one of the things that like Papa Smurf said. He was just like, dude, I can actually use it inside my garage. I don't have to take the car outside my garage. He said, like if something works better than Furies, but I can't breathe, I don't want to use it.
Yeah, I don't want my garage to smell like rotten eggs.
Yeah, death.
Oh horrible. Gosh, stinks. And then my wife comes out and then she looks at me like I did something. I'm like, Bev, it's not me, dude. It's the floor.
When we were first testing Furies, I was over at Chelsea's garage, and she called her husband to come. She's like, "Come over here and smell this." Like, I can't. Like, he's always complaining about my iron removers, and it was a real fun moment for her and her kids to come over, for her husband and her kids to come over and smell the iron remover, and it didn't gas them out. So yeah, that was a win. But all those companies that you listed, they're bigger than me, and they have a bigger reach, and they are more well known. They have more followers. They have a bigger presence, and they have bigger advertising budgets than I do. So it is what it is. I'm just going to keep
doing your thing,
climbing that hill, pushing that wheel, the wheel of woe. I'm going to keep pushing that wheel.
So I got another question. I got so many questions for you, dude.
Sure, you're right.
So how do you what's your next step? Like, do you have new chemicals coming out? Like, is there anything you could that you want to share that
2024? So you know what? This is a great question. And I'm going to kind of push it back onto you a little bit. One of the chemical companies that we've talked about at length, you did a video on them earlier today. They have
90 wheel cleaners.
Exactly. They're a little different color, a little different scent. Supposedly they work differently, and so on and so forth. We have a question on the marketing table right now where we have the capability of making a really good glass cleaner.
Ooh.
And my problem is
you have Hydra.
I have Hydra and I have Peleus. If you cut Peleus 50-50 with a distilled water, it would make for an insane panel.
So if your struggle that you don't want to be, I guess, like you don't want to just come out with products to come out with products. Nobody wants to do that, right? So you're very strategic. But what about the full spectrum, right? So if we look at your line, you have outside wash, you have a panel prep, you have Titan, you have Fabulous, you have Papa Cut, you have the gloss sauce or gloss wax or gloss
and wax,
right? You have Chronos, so you Immortal, and you have Kraken, which you'll default to Kraken to be an interior cleaner. But for me, I don't want my kids spraying that, so I use a passive one, the one that doesn't have caustic stuff in it. So I try to keep it minimized. But have you thought about what are you missing? Like, have you thought about that one piece in your line?
I would tell you right now, dressings are there's holes in the dressings department all around the board. Interior dressing, tire dressing, those are definitely missing. Dressings can be funny. I think dressings
are expensive.
Are extremely expensive. And they can also give you a really nasty black eye if you don't do it right. If it's not perfect, you get a tire dressing that slings, that doesn't do what it's supposed to do, doesn't survive a rainstorm. Any number of things can go horribly wrong with dressings. And like you said, they are extremely expensive. And so it's not something that I have been pushing to get done. I know that the panel prep was a really big one because I kind of wanted to have bookends for the ceramic coating line. I know that there's a 3-in-1 that people have been asking about that we've been playing with, basically diminishing compound with a sealant in it.
A sealant or an SiO2?
It'd be a sealant. I mean, SiO2 is not off the table.
I think you have one. We're playing chess here, and you're missing the queen. Like, you have everything.
So what do I need?
When I look at your line, if I were to say screw everybody else and just use Phoenix, I'll like an interior cleaner, just one that has a light scent. I don't like a lot of stuff that's.
I'm telling you, this stuff that we're making right now, that the interior Kraken, but it'll have a different name. It'll be another Roman monster. It also has an odor neutralizer in it. It smells so good when you use it. Like it's an odor neutralizer. It's a cleaner. It's safe on everything, on every surface. This interior cleaner is so amazing. That is definitely coming. I thought we had already talked about that. I apologize.
No, I thought you said. See, you didn't say it was coming. You said we're looking at something, and usually when people say that, I take it like this guy is not doing nothing. But you're coming out with it.
Oh yeah, I got a bottle of it on my table already.
You're coming out with the Kraken interior cleaner. So the smell is it going to be like? You're not going to come out with like the banned stuff, right? Where people say, "Well, it'll kill microbial." No, it's just going to clean
microbial. So here's a fun fact. If the government can get money out of you, they will.
Yep.
If you claim something to that nature of it kills 99% of all this and it does that and it does whatever, you have to pay for every single whatever that it's supposed to kill. So the I don't know, is it the FDA or the?
Yeah, you have to pay $10,000 minimal, and then it goes up anywhere to 50.
Yeah. So no, I'm not making those claims. You know what I mean? Like Peleus will kill everything, but I'm not making that claim.
Yeah, for sure. See, that's good to know. So you are coming out with a new product. Then the last thing I see, then a gap is we don't need no more glass cleaners, bro. The whole world is full of that.
Thank you.
We need if you make an all-in-one, that'd be pretty cool. Like an all-in-one that could last longer than Rupes, all-in-one that they claim lasts a year, but really lasts like 4 months. If you can make one that lasts a little longer, that'd be dope. But a dressing like that you could dilute for engine bays, that you could use for tires, for interiors would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, that's probably going to be the unicorn. But yeah, I'm so OCD when it comes to releasing stuff. Like I need it to be. It needs to be the caliber that I want it to be. I just can't launch something for the sake of launching something.
No, I get it. But I would just say, if you ask like what were you missing, those are the things I think about. Like if I were to quit everything else.
Yeah, you know what? I will send you. I'll send you a small sample of the interior if you want.
Oh wait, can I give something away right now? I'm feeling.
Go ahead.
Let's give away something.
All right. You want you to give away something, or you want me to give away something?
I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy it. Support the channel here. Support Phoenix EOD. Like
what do we? It's usually trivia based.
Yeah, let's ask some questions. I have. Let's do this. Where do we have on your site that I could get? What should we give away? Yeah, let's give away the Titan 4 Horsemen kit. I'll buy it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're giving away a Titan and the 4 Horsemen bundle.
Yep. I'll buy it today and send it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Then it has to be a really good question. The really good question would be...
You don't ship to Canada, right? Just make sure. Tell people in chat, because there's like 30 people in chat. So do you ship to Canada or not?
I do ship to Canada. I hate shipping to Canada, but I do.
Sorry, Rad.
Because, you know... Oh, but hey, just keep in mind, you know, if you want me to ship to a city that is currently frozen, I highly recommend you don't. Like, you can send it to me in March. I know there's a bunch of people that will they'll order stuff and they'll have in the comment section. You can wait until spring thaw. It says right on the website, you know, don't order Titan below freezing.
Yeah, or maybe I'll give them $89 Venmo or something, and they could buy it when they want, whichever one.
Just send it to them. All right. I want to say, what is the name of the college that Eddie attended?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. What is the name of the college that Eddie attended? I'll give you a hint. It was a Christian school. First person that was paying attention earlier in today's episode. Great question. CG College. Nope. I don't believe Chemical Guys has one. West Coast Baptist.
That's who said that?
Keith Firebird said
Gosh darn it, that guy, bro.
Keith, what the flock of seagulls, man? Is that right? Is that correct?
That's the one of the colleges I went to. Yeah, my first college was Penn State.
Something Baptist.
Yep, West Coast. He's right.
Keith Firebird, I swear.
Keith Firebird.
He says send it to Rad. He says send it to Rad.
Did he say that?
Yeah, send it to Rad.
All right, done. Rad Garage. I'll buy it from Carzilla if you want. But I gotta support Aaron, so I'll buy it from Aaron.
I don't necessarily know if they do bundle. Do they do bundle kits? I don't know what Chris does.
Chris does take your money kit. So
hey, Chris is a good dude.
I'm not saying he's not.
Dude.
I'm just saying I'm paying full price if I go to Carzilla. I'm buying from you. You can ship it to him.
Exactly. You're going to be paying all kinds of crazy tariffs and whatnot.
Let's do another giveaway, huh? I'll do it.
All right.
I'm in a cheerful mood.
All right.
So we got a 4 Horsemen kit that we're going to give away. This one I'm going to give away. Let me see what I want to give away. What do I feel like giving away? I want to give away Hyper Cleanse. I know it's not your brand. It's my daughter's favorite. I want to give away Hyper Cleanse from Lithium. You can ask the next question.
What was the question? What was that question? Regulation size. I don't know. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Becca, what does that mean? Like, they're going to get pints if that's what you're asking. Pints? I still think it's rigged. You know what? I think it's rigged too, HM. I think it is. I think it is rigged. Keith Firebird wins every gosh darn thing.
Keith Firebird's touched by God. Hey, Keith, I love you, but you can't play this round. All right. Next round of giveaways. I want to give away a hyper cleanse, and then we'll do one more after that if you're cool with me giving away something else.
Sure. All right. Where was Eddie born?
Oh, that's a
trick question. Happy Gilmore. Nope. Where was Eddie born? Nope, I don't believe so. There it is. Chris Carter gets it. Chris Carter.
All right, can you just make sure I get their info and I'll ship it out?
All right. Chris, send us a email here. Not send it. Hold on, I gotta change that. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Save and show. All right. Send Chris Carter wins that.
I'm thinking about giving away something crazy.
You mean more than a Titan and a 4 Horsemen bundle?
Yeah. I'm thinking about giving away something crazy.
Chris Carter, send me your info, your shipping information to info@Phoenix E.O.D, and then Eddie and I will work out the details on getting you his lithium stuff.
Think about giving away something wild. Let me see. We could talk more and do one big giveaway. I got one more big one.
Okay. All right. Well, what else do you want to talk about? I gotta get a tasty beverage. I'm out.
Tasty what?
A tasty beverage. Normally,
go get one.
Normally, I have a nice big bottle of apple juice, and today I had 12 ounces of tea.
I'm shocked. Give away a gallon of Apex. Is that from Tim? Is he sponsoring that?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me text him. He's my sponsor.
He's your sponsor?
He helps me with my drug addictions.
All right, so let's see here. How cold is it in Idaho right now?
Freezing my balls off. I mean, it's cold. It's I think it was like 20 degrees, and then the wind chill brought it down to like 10 degrees. All right, I got the green light. We're giving away a gallon of Apex. Shout out to my sponsor, Tim. Let's ask a question.
Giveaway to Furies. We could do all kinds of crazy giveaways. I see now it's not being funded by me. We could give away everything.
We're gonna give away Apex, and then I want to do one more giveaway after this.
Oh my goodness! All right, I'm running out of questions though. See, now you turned the tide on me and was interviewing me when I should have been interviewing you this whole time.
No, I just thought I wanted to see everyone gets on here and we talk about the same soaps, but I wanted to get to know Aaron. Like Aaron.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to do. Usually, when I try to get guys and gals to come on here. By the way, if Eileen is still in here, I want to get Eileen on the show. She seems like she has got a lot to say. And I think that she has a really great perspective, especially being a female in the what is perceived to be a predominantly dominated male industry. I'd love to talk to her. We've had Stephanie Devine on here. We've had Chelsea on here. I'd love to talk to Eileen if she's still in the chat room. There is still 20 people.
There's a question. There's a question in chat. Ryan's asking me. Let's ask that, and then we'll get to the giveaway.
This right here. What's Eddie's next step? What's his future plans? Growing his business.
Yeah, that's I like to answer that. So the YouTube thing for me is it's gonna sound outlandish, probably never happened, but this is the goal. The bigger I get, the bigger I want to do the giveaways. So everything I make off of like fakedetailer.com, which is my shirt company, all the super chats. If super chats come in, I give that away right away to the people. Like I'll buy them stuff, right? Because I don't keep that money. So my plan for the future is this. I want to grow EC Details to 50,000 subscribers in like 2 years. I don't know if that's possible or not.
50,000 subscribers. How many do you have right now?
I just started a year and like a week ago, and I'm at 2,600.
Shazam!
So I want to get to 50 grand, and then when I get to 50 grand, I want to get everyone together that's sponsored to give away a detailing truck, like a van.
Really?
Yeah, that's my goal. That's been my number one goal since I started EC Details. That's my goal. But throughout, I want to grow the channel. I want to collaborate with more people, more content creators, but also those coming up that don't have a voice. I like to have them on my podcast.
Sure.
I want to see JB's channel grow, and then I want to see James the Cleaner hit 500,000 subscribers. But that's the future of YouTube. Me personally, I want to hand my business off to my daughter. So I want to get big enough where she could take it over after college, and then I'll support her.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
That's the goal.
So you got all kinds of people wanting to sponsor giveaway stuff.
Wait, Aaron, you sponsoring a giveaway? Adrian, you for real?
That's what he says.
He's for real. All right, we got 2 giveaways. We got Tim wanting to sponsor some Apex. Look, give back. This is what this is about, right? So
that's
I got a question.
Yeah.
Who is Aaron's favorite football team?
Oh boy. Oh boy, it could be anywhere because everybody knows that I live in South Jersey. It could be anybody.
Who is Aaron's favorite football team? Let's go. This is for a gallon of Apex soap. He said Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles.
Look at that. Tim knows me too well. He should have been disqualified.
The Browns?
Yeah, right.
Al Daly coming in clutch. Oh,
yeah, no, it was Tim who got it first.
Tim got it first. Okay.
Yeah, Tim got it first.
Steelers. True. All right, so Tim, we gotta send Tim. Send Tim some soap. Let's gotta get that order. And we got Adrian. Adrian wants to give something away, huh?
Titan Tim. Gallon of Apex.
All right. What are we giving away, Adrian?
He said he wanted to give away a Kronos, didn't he?
A Kronos, like a ceramic coating?
Yeah. Bottle of Kronos.
Dope. And then I like to do one big giveaway at the end.
Yeah. So I will sponsor Eddie with a Kronos for a giveaway. No one likes the Browns. Exactly. The Browns don't even like the Browns.
The Browns, yeah, for sure. Like if you're a Browns fan, you're loyal. Like if you're a man and you love the Browns fan, you're gonna be a great husband because you're gonna be loyal. Yeah, right. If you could fall in love with the Browns and stay loyal and wear that jersey on Sunday night, you're gonna be a phenomenal husband. So, ladies in chat, if you're looking for a man, make sure they're a Browns fan.
Did you see this? Wait, that's not it. This. Did you see this?
Give it away.
Come on, you guys are killing me.
Hey, 2024, let's do it. I love giving away. If you can't tell, Aaron, I love giving away stuff.
That's fine. It's just like everybody wants to give it away. It's like the hot potato. Like, I don't want it. You have it.
One more question about Aaron. Earlier in the chat today, he mentioned that he was coming out with an interior cleaner. What is the backbone of that interior cleaner?
Wow. Backbone. That interior cleaner.
You said it. Oh, Elaine. Was she first?
Yeah, she was first.
There we go. All right, we got a winner. We're not giving away. It can only exchange hands once, okay? Done. Look, they're listening, bro. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
On top of it. They're on top. Crack. Exactly. Doug is right. Crack. We sprinkle a little crack in it. That's where it's magical. Unicorn horn and elf tears. That's how it makes it work.
So we got that Kronos giveaway, and I'd like to give away one big item.
Hold on. So the Kronos is going to Eileen?
No, not Kronos. That's going to be the gallon of Apex. I mean, the gallon of Apex, yeah. So
Eileen's getting that.
Yep. Because
Eileen's getting that.
Shine Your Light Tim didn't want it.
Well, he did want it. He just wanted to Tim has a lot of Apex soap. Is what it's basically boiled down to.
It's got more soap than Trump gets indicted. Shout out to my boy Trump.
Oh snap! All right, so are we doing Kronos now, or are we doing yours?
Kronos now. I got a question. Do you want me to ask the questions, or you got it?
I mean, this one's probably pretty easy for a Kronos bottle. For a bottle of Kronos, it feels like it's easy. The only thing that I'm thinking.
I got one for Kronos.
All right, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I just died inside. Hold on, my soul left my body, bro. I forgot.
Who is the YouTube personality that helped catapult Eddie into his YouTube personality? Go. Dun 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 dun. There it is. Eileen wins again.
Hey.
Well, that should be. Hey, Adrian's sending it out. So Adrian, just give it to Eileen. She's lives down the street from you. So do that. Adrian, you know what to do. Send it to number 2. Oh, she says send it to number 2. Oh my gosh, this is so complicated.
This is the love. Who's number 2?
It goes to Ricky.
Hey, shout out to Ricky.
All right. And it comes at a great time because from what I understand, I don't know if I'm telling secrets, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Because you guys, the 29 people that are still listening, Adrian and Hawaii Tim are going to the MTE in Orlando. And from what I understand, they are going down to see Ricky. And they may or may not be doing something with ceramic coatings.
They're doing it. If you know what I know, then they're doing it.
I know what you know, because I'm the guy who has to write out the little certificate.
Yeah, they know what they know.
All right. Boom.
And I want to be honest. Tim came to my house, stayed the night, and we were in training together. And that man does not know how to stop working. I actually had to lie to him once and be like, hey, I'm tired. I'm going upstairs to sleep so I could watch the Waltons.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, John Boy.
Oh, snap. All right.
That's funny.
Did you have any other questions for me in chat before we give the last giveaway out?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Normally when I do the deep dive and I go through all your social media stuff and things of that nature, there's usually there's really cool things about what you're into and stuff like that, but 90% of everything on IG is just detail crap, and then everything on Facebook is all family. So we covered it all. It's all family, which is, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. You can see the nucleus that you live in, and that's phenomenal. I'm sure your family is very lucky to have such a devout husband and father. So
I love them when they're not annoying.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to share my screen because I want to give this away. It's going to be special.
Okay.
And then we might have to ask a harder question, or you might have to pull up the orders. It's someone who ordered, but however you want to give this away, you can private chat me. But share my screen here.
What?
I don't know, man.
What?
All right. So I like to give away a Shy Mate polisher.
Holy majolies.
This will come directly from parkscarcare.net. I usually save this for my channel, but I appreciate you having me on and for everything you did.
Eddie, wow.
Yeah, it's all good. So I appreciate you having me on. Everything you did for everyone else, 2024, you're the real go, Aaron. So just so we know, we gave away a Titan kit. We gave away a Hyper Cleanse, and then shout out to Tim and Adrian for giving away the gallon of soap and the Kronos. So this is a polisher that actually Becca have been talking. This is one of my favorite polishers ever made. So the question, I don't know what to ask. Where's Papa Smurf? He should jump on and ask a question, but let me write it down. Let's see what questions I can come up with.
I can send him a link.
Send him a link. Let's see. All right, I might have one question. I'll put it in a private chat. Chat, be patient with us. Be patient with us. This is let me put it here. Push. And it doesn't have to be about me. It could be about Aaron and his business or the Four Horsemen. Let's go here.
All right, Papa, your link was sent.
I'll let Papa. You're gonna ask the question for this giveaway, and then we can end it if you want, Aaron.
Wow. Wow, that's unbelievably generous. Wow.
Ed used to be feeling it, bro. We'll just so people keep naming stuff in chat. I don't even know why they're shouting out Extreme Solutions or whatever have you.
Yeah, what is that all about?
I have no freaking idea, bro. I have no idea.
Papa, I sent you an email for the link to jump on here. Apparently, you're going to be the guest question.
Hey, Papa, come on and ask a question about Phoenix E.O.D. And this one is for the final giveaway of the night.
Wow, I wish that I had a drink to
join.
Cheers to you, man. Like, wow, like
he can't join.
Huzzah, dude.
Send the link to Tim. He can ask the question.
You send the link to Tim instead?
Yeah, he can't. He's driving. He's driving home. He says he's driving home, but he's probably going to McDonald's. Papa, stop lying. He's driving. Tim, can you get on? Let's have Tim ask the question, and then we'll call it a night.
All right. All right, Titan Tim, I just sent you the link. Or did you mean the other Tim? I can't remember.
Either one. I don't care which Tim. Hawaii Tim, Titan Tim. They can ask the last question.
He's eating tacos. Way to go, Papa Smurf. Way to go. Way to go. It's what? It's 6:47 on the West Coast. What are you doing on a Saturday night driving anywhere in a client's car? Are you kidding me? He was done an hour and a half ago, right? We all know that even on a late day on a Saturday, he works until 5 o'clock. So, I mean, you know. Oh, there he is. Boop. There he is.
Hello.
All right, Tim.
How's it going? Oh my God, this is awesome.
Hey, Titan Tim, what's happening, man?
A little bit of everything. How about you?
I was gonna call you Titi, but it sounded inappropriate. So, TT.
I don't know how to.
So you want me to ask the question?
Tim, you get to ask the question. Look, I'll stop sharing because I'll send this out today. You get to ask the question and you get all the blowback because you'll pick the winner. So,
what river was Aaron fishing on when he first had the idea to go ahead and start Phoenix E.O.D?
Oh, wow.
He was fishing with someone.
Yeah, that's right.
If the river's too hard, we can go with the state.
Chris Carter got it.
Wow. Awesome.
Yep. Middle fork of the Salmon River.
All right.
Way to go.
I need the address. I'll buy that tonight and have it shipped to you, sir.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, Keith, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed. So just stop.
Me and Keith are going to go to Vegas one day. He's going to be my who's that dude in that the guy who went with Vegas with it was a movie. What was his name?
Rain Man.
Yeah, dude, he's going to be like 985 times.
264 toothpicks. 264 toothpicks.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
Times.
Exactly. Wow, that's a great question, Tim. Thanks.
Sure.
Question, Tim.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So Chris Carter, I don't know if you want to send me the text message or your shipping info, or you want to send it directly to Eddie. But wow, what unbelievably wow. Well, Eddie, what's your email address?
It's
if you don't want to be putting it up.
I don't care. COLOED3, so Colo Ed 3 at
Hold on.
gmail.com.
COLOED3
ED3 at gmail.com.
All right. So, Chris, send Eddie your shipping information, and he will send that out to you. Are you bouncing?
Yep, all good, man. Have
All right,
fun, you
thanks.
guys.
Love your
Appreciate
face, Tim.
All right, love you guys. See ya.
All right. See you again. I like you over here. Yeah. So, Chris, go ahead and send him your shipping info. And wow, Eddie, unbelievably, like on my channel, that's something. Wow, dude, I don't even know what
I
to
just
say.
appreciate you having me on, and at the end of the day, it's just money, man. As long as you can bless people, it's all good.
Record for most giveaways in a podcast. Shout out to Eddie for getting it started. 100%. 100%.
Shout out to everyone
Yeah,
who stayed
Tim,
on.
you know what? That was actually really rude of me. Tim, I hope you are feeling better. Tim's been going through some Lyme's disease complications, and it's been affecting his hands. And he seemed like he was in good spirits. Seemed like he was doing okay. So hopefully, Tim, you are feeling a little bit better. Wow. All right. So this is almost the 2-hour mark, so I think we should wrap it up on a high note.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Eddie, for your generosity. Thank you for everybody, Adrian for sponsoring the Chronos, and Hawaii Tim for the Apex. Just absolutely fantastic. Thanks you guys so much. I can't wait for Adrian and Hawaii Tim to get a hold of Ricky down there at the MTE and watch some magic happen down there. This really is such an amazing community. Regardless of you know what your favorite product is, or you know, I noticed that, like, you know, you can get into like these Mustang clubs and Corvette clubs and Camaro clubs and Tesla clubs, but overall, this community, regardless of what you love, there's just love for each other in this community, and it's just really been awesome to be a part of. It really came to the climax at the Pay It Forward campaign last week, and we're looking forward to donations and nominations this year, 2024. It's going to be a blast. Really appreciate everybody for watching. We're still 27 strong at the end of 2 hours. Why is the panel prep so expensive to ship? I don't have any control over the couriers whatsoever. I know that UPS just got a big raise, and so they announced that they're jacking up their prices as far as shipping out. We don't do handling costs. We don't add a single cent to shipping at all. If they say shipping is $11.24, that $11.24 goes 100% to either the post office or to UPS. We don't touch any of that stuff. So I do apologize that shipping is out of control, but it is just that out of control, which is why we're trying to get everything on Amazon as quickly as possible. Even though Amazon is evil, they are a necessary evil, and they definitely save you guys a lot of money, especially when it comes to shipping. So anyway, we're all in this together. It's a beautiful community. I love this community. I think we're all brothers and sisters here, and I just want to keep pushing that forward into 2024 and beyond. Thanks everybody for coming out. Eddie, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I want to do this again because this is a lot of fun. And next time it'll be after January, and things will get a little bit looser. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out on a Saturday night and hanging out with us. You guys are absolutely awesome. And until the next Curmudgeon's Corner, stay safe out there.